So this song was made in about 3 days between writing it and then also like getting it ready to release. Somewhere between 3 or 4 days. I'm very excited to show you how I made it. It's actually super simple. If you guys have seen how I made the song with Bayo and Danielle, I think it was like, what, 80 tracks? This one right here is 14 tracks. Very simple, very different. When I was sick, I spent a lot of time, not a lot of time, I went through a decent amount of time actually in going through samples, and I just looked for samples and guitar parts and synths and drums, and I was just like, look, I'm just sampling and sampling and sampling and sampling, just because I knew that I wanted to release a lot of music this year, and I knew that if I found the samples first, I wouldn't have to spend the time while I'm actually trying to make music. So that being said, really funny. I was like really inspired to make music when I got back into the studio after being sick. I really wanted to make something. I was bummed because I missed the first week. I thought I was going to miss the first week of releasing, which this ended up being the first song. And I was like, you know what? Let's see what we can do. Let's try it. Why not? So I did. And I went through and I literally, like, the first or second sample that I heard was this guitar part. And I was like, shoot, I really like that. So now, very Taylor Swifty, I thought personally. And then a friend texted me a week later and was like, oh my gosh, I was listening to this on my release radar, and I first thought it was Taylor Swift. So we did a little bit of EQ on there. That's the main guitar riff. We did a little bit of compression. We actually compressed it first, which is funny. We usually EQ it first because you don't want to compress the frequencies that you don't like. So you actually take out the frequencies that you don't like first, or add the frequencies you don't like. Actually, it depends. You would take out the frequencies first, because then otherwise you'd be compressing the frequencies you are adding, right? So if you want to take out, I would probably put it first. If you want to add, I'd probably put it after. Then I put just a little bit of reverb. This is the vocal reverb that I put on. I really like using this is the Chrome reverb. This is stock Logic Pro plugin. I really like it. So that's the main guitar riff. Pretty much goes the entire song. And then we have my vocals come in. I pretty much do the same vocal processing, or more or less, per song. This is with no processing. Of course, it's still pitch corrected. I use the flexed pitch inside of Logic. I really like it because I can time things really well. This is no effects. When I was down and couldn't go. You can hear I'm actually still a little congested from being sick. When I was down and couldn't put a little EQ on. Out, you stayed with. Takes a lot of low end out actually. When I was down, a little compression and couldn't go out. De-esser. You stayed with me, kept me company. CLA vocals. This is gonna affect it a lot. This is without it. When I was down and couldn't go out, you stayed. Brightness. A little echo, a replica XT, a little slapback delay. When I was down and couldn't go out. So this is a multi-compression actually. So this is, I'm compressing the low end a little bit more than the top end. This is actually really interesting. Stayed with me, kept me company in my house. So not the high end, which is interesting. And then I'm compressing again. When I was sick and couldn't see the end of it, you'd remind me. And then we have just two vocal layers throughout the chorus. It just goes like this. How else? A lot of reverb on this. Is there just a lot of reverb? Yeah. Yeah. Without right. Very simple song. And then we have this. What is this? I don't even know what this is. Oh, this is the guitar riff. Oh, actually, shout out to Rest with Tudo. If you guys have been watching the Rest with Tudos, where I literally do like the really chill guitar playing. This is my setting that I use. I created this setting a while ago when I used to do the jams over other people's songs and stuff. And I just really liked it, so I saved it so I could reuse it and not have to recreate it every time. And then I forgot about this diffusion delay inside this Replica XT. It gives this glorious Big Sky kind of sound. Big Sky is a Strymon guitar pedal. Classic pedal. It's not classic in the sense of it's been around for a while, but it's classic in the sense of if you play worship guitar on a contemporary music, Christian music, that is the classic sound. This is with nothing, but I discovered it with that, and I was like, oh shoot, that'd be really cool in this. This is nothing. Here, it's actually really quiet with nothing. Now I throw the amp on and the delay, and it turns into this. Hear that glorious reverb? There you go. Okay, now we got the bass coming through. This is my bass. I played this in. This is with no effects. threw a little bass amp on it. You know what I should have thrown? I should have thrown a multi-compression on, like multi-compression. This is regular compression and a little bit EQ. So you throw this with the guitar. Bass sounds good, honestly. I like it. We have these claps. And it's syncopated. I actually forgot that that's in there. Was that originally in there? Was that muted? Yeah, I guess it's in there. It's like syncopated 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Lastly, we have a little bit of a synth coming through. Oh, this is not a little bit. This is that. What is this? Okay, so this is sorry, the organ. When the synth comes through, there's the organ. Sing it. Hear that organ? Okay, let's go into the main synth part, because we actually have a riff that I do, like this vocal riff. I don't know what made me do it, but this is sing it. How else would you recognize the good? So I ended up changing. It says the good there, but it sounds like I say them, so I put it in the lyrics just them. Right, you hear it? So let's talk about the synth. This synth is actually from my Korg mini log right here, the synthesizer. Love this synth, man. I think and use it for everything. This is with no effects. With some big reverb. Took out actually a lot of the original, the dry sound, and put in just a lot of the wet. Makes a big difference, right? Step effects. I like the reverb on this and the delay. And then some EQ. We got a lot of the low end. Let's talk about the drums. Very simple song. So again, chopped it. I also slowed it down originally. Originally was, if we were to copy this and go back to Splice, let's see. Let's go to Splice. Copy this, throw this in there. Bada bing, bada boom. Here's the original. See, it's a little faster, and the rhythm's a little different because I didn't chop it up. Chop this one up, and this is what we have. Boom, boom. A little slower. Also, I did a little bit of that parallel compression. This is without the parallel. It's a little snappier and some reverb. Classic cymbals that I use on everything. Just literally copy and paste them from all the songs. And then we have a little pulsing synth come through from the Korg mini log right here. This is an actual analog synthesizer. Oh, you're with me. How else would you recognize? That's lit. Oh, we have a set last thing. We have one more guitar part that comes in. So if you delay the two guitars. The light shines. And that's about it. Very simple track. But it's funny. Sometimes the simplest can be like the most catchy, or it's so funny how sometimes some things have like 87 different layers and this one has 14. And it's just wild. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you learned something. Hope you had a little fun. Go check out the new song and download the Jacob Restituto app. Peace out.